with our skills drills, we want the pace to be optimal. That means we want probably at least a rep every 45 to 60 seconds for every player in line. Now, depending on the drill, that's anywhere between 4 to 8 players in your skill station, okay? It's generally where we're at with most of the stuff that we do. Now, what can happen is there are certain drills that with 5 players are great, with 6 are good, but with 7, they get just a little too slow, right? It's about 1.5 minutes every rep, and that's not what we want. And so as you're watching a drill and you start to notice that guys maybe are just sitting in line a little too long, or a good cue is that if you see them maybe getting a little bored and kind of messing around with pucks a little too much in line, that generally means that they've had too much time to rest. So if you see that, there are a few ways of speeding up the drill. One, you can just get the next guy started a little bit earlier. However, if there's a shooting drill and you have goalies, that can be difficult because the goalie needs to be able to reset. So let's say I have a drill. We'll just go over a quick, easy concept. It's a double cutback. I go up, I cut back, I come down to the bottom of the circle here, I cut back, and then I go in and shoot, okay? It might be that the next guy has to kind of wait a second because the goalie's got to reset and then he goes, because it's a pretty quick double cut and then they're right in. Well, what I can do is I can add more to the drill, okay? I can add a token D. Now I've got 2 guys in the drill. Now that adds a little bit more volume to the drill. I can also make it just add a little bit more to it. Hey guys, I want you to go up. I want you to cut back at the top of the circle, come down, cut back. Then I want you to come up the wall, scan, do a Mohawk protect, drive, and then shoot. Well, now as that guy's driving, the next guy can go because it's going to space out enough. By the time he shoots and then the goalie gets set, the next guy is maybe now up and doing his Mohawk protect. So I can add a little bit more volume to the drill itself in order to space out the shot, in order to get more guys moving. And obviously if you add 3 or 4 seconds to the drill itself, it's going to also be tougher on the guy's legs, on the athlete's legs, and they're going to want a little bit more rest potentially too. So that's one way of speeding up the practice. The third way of doing this is that drill, maybe it just can't be faster. You can't get more going, and it's a great drill, but you got 1 extra guy than you like, and so your reps are a little bit slower than you want, but they're not out of range. This isn't like something that's crossing a boundary yet. You like what's going on, but you do want to get your whole practice moving a little bit more. Okay, so maybe we're in 3 stations. Each station has 7. Everyone showed up today that you were expecting. Group is packed. You can do little fillers. So as an example, maybe what you do is while the 3v3 game is getting set up, you do chaos stick handling in an end, and it's a 1-to-1 work to rest ratio. One group's stick handling, one group's resting, and you go back and forth. You might even just do, hey, everyone get a partner, and while we're setting up 3v3, we're going to be doing partner passing. Now everyone's working the whole time for 4 minutes while the game's getting set up. Throughout the practice, you might institute some more overspeed, or you might just change it up just a little bit to get that work to rest ratio going better. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we want that to be like, like I said, a rep every minute. We want the work to rest ratio to be somewhere around 1 to 3. So for every second that they're working, they're resting for about 3 seconds. To 4 seconds max, depending on the skills drill. And so you can basically, over the course of a practice, try to achieve that. Now, what do you do if you need to slow the drill down? Sometimes what happens is the drill's going and you look over and everyone's on one knee, or they're going like this, or they start slowing down. The first 2 reps were really fast. The 3rd and 4th rep looks sloppy. You got 3 guys in your station and you're thinking, well, the plan says double cutback, cutback, go in and shoot. If you do it exactly that way and don't provide any change in the pace, it is going to be something that is going to gas the players, and it's going to reduce the quality of the output. So we have to be very careful there. What do? That's easier. If you need to slow it down, don't let the next guy go until the one in front of them has shot, the athlete's shot, they've come back into line. Maybe now, you can teach every single time just a little bit, or every 3rd time you kind of slow it down. Hey guys, that last rep, really good. Here's what I want everyone to focus on for the next rep. When you go through, I want you to work on your quick release. Okay, everyone does that one time. You bring them in for 10 seconds because you need to slow it down just a bit. This time, I want you doing a fake pass. When you come out of that second cutback, I want you to fake pass to the high slot, then shoot. Those are easy ways for you to add value while slowing the drill down and not just standing there and waiting for, just counting to 10 in your head and then telling the next person to go. So big thing is keeping the pace optimal. It's, as a coach with higher level athletes, it is the #1 thing that you will need to do is make sure pace is fast, which means that the spacing between the drills, the work to rest ratios are optimal.